Okie doke. Hi, I'm Beck Lane, and this is Studio 120. And as you can see in here, I'm back out in my garage. I actually haven't worked out here in a very, very long time. So the plan is to sweep up, clean up a little bit, and bring some paintings out here that are almost done, but they weren't quite right. And I'm going to bring them back out into the garage that I've avoided because I didn't like the light in here so much. But it is different than the primary room I've been using, the sunroom, which has different effects. The light in there has different effects on paint. So I'm bringing them in here, and I can see maybe they're a little bit duller than I wanted. Maybe not these two, but the other two that I have going are a little bit duller, not as sharp. And so I bring them out here, I'll see them from a new point of view, and finish them up. And I'll get them finished up in the next day or two. As you can hear, well, you can hear church bells because I live across the street from a really large church complex. And apparently they're very happy that church is getting out. So excuse the bells. I managed to turn off the dryer that was running, but we got to deal with the church bells for a while. Anywho, as you can hear, my voice is lighter, and hopefully I seem a little bit happier. And I'm going to tell you, this week I went into another deep sadness, and I'm sorry to talk about it so much, but I think especially in the period of time we live in, where we're feeling very isolated and alone, even though COVID restrictions are being lifted and people are getting shots, we're still living. We're going to have the after effects of a trauma. And so I talk about this stuff as it applies to me. I talk about everything from my point of view because it's the only point of view I have. But I wanted to share with, or have easy access to. I wanted to, what is on my glasses? I wanted to share with you something that happened this week. This is Sunday, obviously, because the church bells are going off. But this week, I kind of got myself in a weird mode. You know, I was sick a lot. That happens because of the RSD. I've got something on my glasses. Because of the RSD CRPS, I get really sick. We had storms going overhead or rolling by, and that sets off my nervous system, where I get one of the effects is chronic fatigue syndrome, and I have tremors and seizures, and I can't do anything but lay down. I can barely see. So that happened pretty much every day. But then something else happened, and I started binge watching a couple of shows. I started binge watching a couple of shows. I've actually been trying to keep myself distracted, keep my mind separate from my emotions and any depression by binge listening, but podcasts weren't working. I put a movie on, that wasn't working. I wasn't able to distract myself from myself or my emotions from myself. But I started binge watching Hoarders. Hoarders. I'm not a hoarder. I don't like hoarding. I grew up in a house with a very organized hoarder, and who took over pretty much every closet and every bedroom, and just every space she could, and would just organize and reorganize everything. But while doing that, take up the entire friggin' house. And when she ran out of room in her spaces, she started taking over my bedroom. She took over every closet she could. So I understand hoarding. I hate it. I hoarded things for a while, music, books, just all kinds of things, until I just decided I was tired of it and got rid of a ton of stuff. And it was something I had to discover on my own. But anyway, I started watching Hoarders, and I couldn't get enough of it. I think I watched 3 hoarder marathons, and then at least a dozen videos on top of that. So I was at minimum. So I was talking to my son and I'm like, I watched 12 hours worth of Hoarders this week, which really wasn't true. Looking back, I watched a good full 24 hours of Hoarders over a span of a few days. And then I started watching a show about mothers in prison. And I sat there thinking, why am I watching this crap? I literally wasn't getting out of my chair or off my futon. Why am I watching this crap? What is the benefit? Why can't I stop? I literally could not stop watching. So I had a really good think. I tend to think, why am I doing this while I'm doing things? Because there's always a reason. There's a reason I produce. There's a reason I don't produce. There's a reason I eat. There's a reason I don't eat. We all do things for a specific reason. And I've become very cognizant of thinking about it and kind of intellectualizing it or examining it. Whatever I'm doing. Whatever interactions I have with people. It's just I pretty much sit around and think about everything, or think about everything, hopefully while I'm painting. But I'm watching Hoarders, and then I'm watching the show on mothers in prison in Indiana, I think it was. And I got through probably an entire season of that, and I'm like, why am I watching this crap? I don't even like it. It makes me uncomfortable. So while I was watching, I was thinking, why? And I realized, I talk about the depression, we talk about the anxiety, we all share it. But I really had to think, why am I doing this to myself? Why am I wasting time? Why am I allowing myself to go down this horrible, horrible, nightmarish rabbit hole with people? Then I realized I'm watching Hoarders because I hoard not stuff, and I'm not stuff anymore, not for at least 15 years or so. Maybe, about 15 years. But I'm hoarding emotions. I'm hoarding sadness. I'm hoarding anxiety, and I'm storing it in myself. And I'm saying this so, hopefully I can help somebody dig themselves out of the trouble they're in. But I think as artists too, it's important to examine ourselves so that we reflect ourselves in the world and our work better. We know what we're doing. We know. So that we're not painting, kittens playing with little balls. Even that has significance. If you sit and think about it in a person's life. Why? And I think as artists, we always need to ask that, why? Why am I reacting to a situation in a certain way? Oops, my little sweat towel. It's very hot out here in the garage, so sweat towel. Anywho, so I realized, and I was talking with my son, and I realized I was hoarding emotions. I have been hoarding emotions my entire life, hoarding fear and anxiety and all this stuff, and trying to hoard a sense of safety in the world through various measures. And so once I was able to label it, like everything else, once I'm able to label it or look at it, put it in a box and look at it and go, why? Or how? What's the reasoning? Kind of asking a lot of questions. Just having a label on it actually lightened me tremendously. So I was able to come out and actually do some work that I've been putting off for several months because I've just been too depressed. Well, in hoarding the sadness and anxiety, it's the only word I have for it. It's the only word I have for it. Taking it, looking at situations, labeling them as, this makes me sad. This makes me really sad. This makes me really angry. This makes me anxious. this makes me just so fearful. I've been able to look at situations and label them and understand them better and learn about them and learn about the reactions of fight or flight. I've been doing that for a long time too, and trying to let them go. But they were still there. They were still in these little boxes. They will always be in these little boxes until I open them up and look at them. And then sometimes they just stay in my little attic. They stay in my little attic, regardless. But just being able to say I'm hoarding all these emotions. Why? Trying to figure out why. It's the only thing I know, is the bottom line. It's the only thing I've known, is to hoard emotions. Some people hoard happiness within themselves, and that's seen as great, the ultimate goal. I'm going to make myself so incredibly happy, and I'm hoarding it, and this is positive, so it's better than you. And I can't stand that either. I've always had a revulsion to people who do that. Well, you should be happier like me. You should just do this. Well, they're hoarding as well. Why are they hoarding happiness? Why are they hoarding joy, which just drives me up a tree? Why are they hoarding these particular emotions? And it's to, deflect and cover up, or compartmentalize. But the negative emotions, in my estimation, also get hoarded and labeled. This is just crap I'm thinking about. So anyway, once I was able to label it, I was able to realize all that hoarding of emotion is turning my storage unit into depression and anxiety and blah, blah, blah. But I realized all of that was becoming so weighty, all those boxes becoming so weighty, guilt, shame, just so weighty that it was kind of crushing the structure, and making me depressed. And it's not something I'm going to be able to fix in a day or two or a day, which, it's roughly been a day since I figured this out. But just being able to say, this is what I'm doing. This is why I watched Hoarders for 24 hours, over a several day span. Just being able to understand that lightened me up. So I came out and I was able to tackle 4 paintings that really have been weighing me down, not because of what they are or who they're for, just like getting the work done is weighing me down. The guilt because I'm not getting it done has been weighing me down. So today I feel 900% better. I've been cleaning the house again. I do that kind of every day, but I've been cleaning the house. I got an extremely large spider out of my living room. I had a big fat spider come in, crawl out from under my futon. It was disgusting. With its legs, it was probably this big, like that. And it crawled out and I freaked. But I hate spiders, so I got a container, threw it on top. It took a while, but I finally got it captured and I left it there overnight. I figured you just get tired and I'm gonna pretend you're not there for a little bit. This morning I went back, slid paper under it, then slid a piece of cardboard under the paper, and then pulled that all onto a little rug and dragged the spider outside. But while I was doing that, I realized there were teeny tiny little babies all over this spider. It was a mama spider with God knows how many babies all over it, and they were all over the inside of the container. And when you're an arachnophobe, this is one of your worst nightmares. But I did it. I did it all by myself. I didn't ask anybody for help. I'm like, nope, we're gonna keep going forward. So today I'm gonna come out, sweep out my garage, get to work on these paintings, brighten them up a little bit, maybe help to lighten their structure since I've been able to lighten mine and make them free. What are we on? We're on 14 minutes. So it's a long chat again, but oh well. Another thing about hoarding is I have a ton of paintings. I've produced I don't know how many paintings, and I'm not hoarding them. I know a lot of people say, my artwork is my baby. These are my children. I produce them. I can't let them go. And that just, ugh, I can't stand that. I just can't stand that. My reaction to that is, especially being a mom, I'm not a great one, I was never a great one, but being a mom, you know that you raise your children to be individuals and leave. Children grow up, they go out in the world. So when I get a painting done, that to me is an adult child. Go bye-byes. Go lead your life. So I love selling artwork. If I'm selling it, I've raised a complete human being that someone else connects with, and they want this painting human being, adult child, in their home. That is how I view it. They're not precious babies to me, because God knows I can produce a litter a day if I put my mind to it. So that was supposed to tie in with hoarding somehow. That kind of thing drives me crazy. Every little precious item, I can't do it. It's not in me. And I have a tremendous amount of paintings. And I hate opening my storage room door and they're there. It drives me up a tree. I want everybody gone. I want everybody out of the house, gone bye-byes. I've only got one or two that I really love that I will lock in the basement, like the child I need to keep forever. But I've only got one or two that I find for some reason valuable enough to me to want to keep. Although probably they're in Providence, Rhode Island. One of them is, and it is most likely when I see them again, there's some work I'm going to do, and then I'll want those gone too. Yeah, that's the end goal, is say bye-byes to the adult children, to the adult paintings, to the finished paintings, not hang on to them forever because they're not that precious. And I'm going to suggest that if you feel that way, if you feel that your work is so precious that you can't let it go after I've now insulted you, that you can't let it go, ask yourself why. Why am I hanging on to this? Why am I hanging on to this, all this artwork? Why am I hanging on to sadness, rush, and joy? All these different emotions, and see if in kind of working through that, intellectualizing it, helps to lighten your load a little bit, so that you can move forward. You're not mired down with all this stuff. So I'm going to get back to this. Stacy, we're almost done. I've got to go through, and I've got some cleanup I have to do. I have to lighten colors. I have to kind of clean up some lines, and then I'm going to add the glaze to the edges. But I'm really happy to say, Stacy, this is almost on its way, as well as the other commission that I can't show you, the secret one. Anyway, that's it. I'm Beck Lane. This is Studio 120. If you'd like to help support Studio 120, the links are all down below. Monthly help, links to Patreon are down below. If you'd like to help support Studio 120, all the links are down below, including a link to Patreon. Patreon supplies monthly support. Thank you, my Patreon supporters, for hanging in there with me, especially when I went through this bad period again this year. But monthly support starts as low as $5 a month, and it goes up from there all the way up to being able to buy a painting, which, believe me, I have quite a few. I have a couple of. If you'd like one of my adult children, let me know and we can work something out. Anyway, so there's Patreon, TeePublic, T-E-E Public. The link is down below, where you can buy my artwork on tote bags, coffee mugs, notebooks, t-shirts, stickers, all kinds of stuff. And then also I take tips through Cash App, link down below, Cash App and PayPal. Everything's down below. All right, thanks so much. Thanks for hanging in there. And if you have any questions, post them down below, or get a hold of me through my website, www.becklaneartist.com. Becklaneartist.com. Again, link down below. All right, ciao. Ciao. Ready, Carrie? Meow, meow, meow. Oh, I gotta go shower. I'm gonna go shower. I'm so sweaty now.